They threw it off the stage and it got cracked, and that's the only reason it didn't get burned in the bonfire in the middle of the stage, because they couldn't pick it up and put it back.
The grand piano.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, my name's Nova and I'm hosting a brand new channel called See You at the Show. It involves chatting with musicians, artists, behind the scenes footage, even speaking with fans before shows as well. And you know what? You're going to be part of it as well. And on this first episode, I'm chatting with legendary musicians from Jefferson Starship who span across 5 decades in the music world. And not only that, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary as well. So come along, because I'm going to be sitting down with Cathy and David from the band. And you know what? Episode 1 is right here for you. So let's see you at the show. Hi and welcome to a brand new channel, a brand new show called See You at the Show, and I'm your host, Nova, and to kick things off, episode 1.
Episode what?
Episode 1. No pressure. We've got 2 members from Jefferson Starship. We've got David Freiberg and Cathy Richardson. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Yeah, it's a privilege. It's a privilege.
It's our privilege. We're so honored to be the #1 show.
Did you not know it was a #1?
No,
I had no idea.
All right, well, there you go. I know. We had to get some like legends of the rock world in, didn't we? That's what it was.
Really good. Really well done.
So we are actually like baptizing this brand new studio space here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're in the venue HQ. Okay, holding corporation as well, which you're going to be playing at one of the venues actually tonight.
Yes.
Okay, so Long Music Hall here in Colorado Springs. Are you strangers to Colorado in general? Have you been here several times? You must have through the touring career.
We've been here.
We've been
a
here.
lot.
We've been not very much lately, though, that I can think of.
Not
Okay.
lately.
Okay, how do you find it? Because I know a lot of bands, okay, who come here as well, need to climatize, okay,
Yeah.
with the oxygen and the air as well.
Right.
Yes. How are you finding it?
I haven't even noticed this time, but I guess we were in some altitude recently, so that you get kind of accustomed to it.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to kind of come here a lot, but after a while, you get
Where
used
was
to
that?
it.
Because it was. I didn't expect it to be altitude, but
Yeah,
it was.
I don't know what it was.
But it was like, like about as high as Denver. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say because your surname, we were speaking just before we came on camera, means the Freiberg.
Free Mountain.
Free Mountain.
Freiberg.
Yeah. Which is it's a great. It's wonderful. We've got the mountains just outside, haven't we?
Yeah.
We certainly
No
do.
charge.
Listen, it's such a privilege, obviously, to have you both here. Okay, and I just want to have a chat
Okay.
and a bit of a
Chat away.
backstory. Obviously, Cathy, you coming into the band as well, 2008, I do believe. Correct if I'm wrong.
No, that's correct.
But David, I want to start with you. I mean, we're talking decades here. We're talking
Yes, we
history.
are.
We're talking. How do we kind of bring it all into this wonderful?
That's hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been through so many changes. I mean, and actually, before I even got into the Jeffersons, I was in the Quicksilver Messenger service, and so that was like 1966. So
Wow. It really is. It really is.
yeah, it goes.
But people obviously are watching who may have never heard of Jefferson Starship. I'm not sure. You need to. If you haven't, then where have you been?
Yeah.
But we're talking Jefferson Airplane. Okay.
Yeah.
Airplane. Talking Starship. And I see like you put everything in like in a pot and a mixing tin, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a good description?
Here I am, and it's, we could do anything from any of those, I suppose. I mean, we used to do some Quicksilver songs, but there's just so many Jefferson Airplanes, Jefferson Starship. I mean, there's so many songs. It's
Great
we
songs
can't
that
do
people want
enough
to
of
hear.
them just from the Jeffersons.
But Cathy, you've just had great songs people want to hear. Okay, and for me, it's recognisable.
Right.
And one thing that always stands out with the songs as well, being a piano player myself, is that high octave piano. You hear it on Jane in the intro. Da, 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 da. You do.
Sure.
It's recognisable.
Yeah.
That late 70s feel, that sound. Am I right with that? You've got that recognisable sound. You really have.
That was there. Yeah. That one.
Yeah.
We didn't always use the triplets, but
But what's going back then when you were writing then, was it obviously writing now as well? Obviously it's a huge change, isn't it?
It's funny. when I was actually writing that song, I wrote it on a grand piano, right? And I was thinking more like the Rolling Stones Baroque period,
Yeah, yeah.
like Ruby Tuesday and all that. And but when it came time to do it, I said, I think we got to make, because when the lyrics came through, I said, it'd sound better if this really rocked, And so I called Craig Chiquiso, and our young guitar player, who was like barely out of high school at that point. Oh, no, he was a little older than that. He must have been 21 by then. And I said, I know you're listening to different stuff. And so what do you think of this? And he said, I got it. And he came up with an arrangement in a couple hours. And looking backwards, you can tell who he was listening to.
Mm-hmm. But I need to ask with that song specifically. And do you know what? Any others in that time frame? Did that song come as quickly as you said? Did you know when you sat at the grand piano? Did you think that this is going to be?
It took me some months.
Okay.
No, the lyrics really they were. I worked on it with my friend Jim McPherson, and we worked on it for months, working on the lyrics and the melody and everything, and it was it was there, but I said the feeling isn't what it was when I started out, So I knew Craig would know.
Add his touch on there. Add his little sprinkle.
Yeah, and well, yeah.
I love it, Cathy. I mean, it's a bit of a celebration, isn't it, for the band?
Oh yeah.
Is it 50 years was last year, 50th anniversary now.
Right.
And
we're still celebrating.
You still, well, why not?
Yeah.
You should be celebrating. Carry on celebrating. But it's something.
We didn't say it was. We're still celebrating.
Yeah, there you go.
But it's a huge momentum. You should be proud of this moment. It really is. And you being part of this now, this journey in the band. I mean,
for 17 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's wild. Because I was a fan growing up, and I remember hearing White Rabbit on the radio and being like, what is that, And Jefferson Airplane, well, I've heard of Jefferson Starship, but Jefferson Airplane, they were from the 60s. But it was Gray Slick, and I went and I bought the Worst of Jefferson Airplane album. And I listened to White Rabbit so many times that my mom knocked on my door and said, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And she said, "You've listened to that song for the last 45 minutes over and over again." And I said, "Well, it's just so cool and it's so short. It was only 2.5 minutes. I just wanted more of it, So it's pretty wild having, seen Jefferson Starship when I was 14 years old. I still have the ticket stub. In the last,
do you?
Yeah, in the last row of the balcony, and I
She
think
still has a T-shirt.
one of my friend's sisters had to drive us because we were too young to drive, and I saw that concert. It was one of the first concerts I went to, Jefferson Starship, at the Holiday Star in Merrillville, Indiana, and it was David, Grace Slick, Paul Kantner, Donnie Baldwin on drums, Craig Chiquiso on guitar, Pete Sears on bass, and Mickey Thomas singing.
Yep.
So, and I mean, that was, to me, the ultimate era, because that was, I was really, really into that music, and
You were 14.
I was 14.
Were you at the front on the barrier? Were you right to
No,
the front?
I was in the last row of the balcony. I had the farthest away ticket that there was. But
that is incredible.
Yeah.
So it's a real full circle moment for you.
Yeah,
Isn't it? You're fangirl. Now
totally.
you're in the band.
Yeah, and never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I would be in Jefferson Starship. I wanted to do what they were doing. I wanted to sing and be on stage and have a band and all that. And
Well, you did that.
And I did all that. And then here I ended up. It's very, very wild and weird.
Okay, I want to share with the viewers, okay, and me as well. 2008, it could have been before. How did this wonderful connection happen? What was it? How did it happen? Because a dream come true for Cathy.
Well,
really
the
is.
connection happened in 2007, actually, because 2007 was the 40th anniversary of the Summer of Love, which is a perfect opportunity for managers to get together that still have bands that existed back then. So we went on tour, and I think there was "It's a Beautiful Day" and Big Brother and the Holding Company, and she was singing, and she had been doing an off-Broadway show called Love Janice. I should let you tell this though.
Well, no, I'd love hearing you tell it. I tell your story all the time.
You sure do.
I like it. They're helping each other out. I love it.
So anyways, and before I even heard her sing, I think the first gig we had was at BB King's in New York, and you came into the dressing room before anybody sang and said she was a great Jefferson Starship fan. I said, "Oh, how wonderful," you know. And then when I heard her sing, I mean, she did Janice so beautifully, and that whole tour, I was out there just listening. I was completely entranced by her voice. I mean, she on the screaming parts. I mean, I could hear her singing harmony with herself. I mean, you know, there's 3 different notes and they moved and they were in harmony. You know, I might have been a little stoned, but
Well, it always helps.
Time to take it. but obviously bringing Cathy in there at that moment. Okay, did you know? Did you know straight away this is going to obviously have that change of sound now, change of feel, bringing a female into the band as well?
We had a
dynamics as well. Yeah.
We had a female in the band, but the next year she got tired of being on the road or whatever it was, or mad at Paul or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, and she decided she just couldn't go on the road anymore, and she left.
Yeah.
And we
so
we
there
had
I was
witnessed
sitting
her.
right there.
And she wasn't signed up with, and, you know, she didn't have a contract with anybody. So I kind of needled Paul and said, "Hey,
just make a contract on a bit of paper. It's fine. There you go." Was it right place, right time? Did you say?
well, you came over to his house, I think, right?
He came to my house, and I've got all my albums out, so he could see what a fan I was, but I only asked him to sign one, which was his solo album, Blows Against the Empire, because I really wanted to ingratiate myself to him. And it worked. And we got some guitars and we sang some harmony. And he said, "Oh, this is really just a formality. You're in, you know." He handed me a list of 140 songs. It says, "Well, we do some of these sometimes." And I'm like, 140 songs? Are you kidding me? So I knew I had my work cut out for me. And I did not know all of those songs.
You knew most of them, though.
I knew a lot of them, but I didn't. I mean, there were a lot I'd never heard before.
I was going to say, I bet you knew, 139 at least. Yeah, surely.
Well, you know.
He never stopped writing them, so.
Yeah, it was a lot of Jefferson Airplane stuff that I really wasn't familiar with. If it was on the worst of Jefferson Airplane, I knew all of it. And I said they should play everything from that album because everybody has that album.
That's amazing.
And
Do we? No.
And
we
now
don't anymore. But
this wonderful connection now with the both of you and obviously the rest of the band. Are you still writing now? Do you still get that writer's itch? Yeah. Even when you're out here on the road? Or is it something that is still very personal to you? Do you kind of go home? Do you reset? What's it like for you both?
Well, we did put. We had an album, an album. I guess it's an EP. I don't know what it's called. That came out at the auspicious time of the beginning of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really made a splash.
We all know that time, don't we?
Yeah,
yeah. But even now,
there were, I mean, and we wrote some songs on that. I mean. And
we have some more songs
we have some
in
more.
the can.
If we could ever be in the same city at the same time in a studio.
Right. Yeah, and also, you know, I think it helps too. We should be playing those songs live more, and then we should go in and recut them, because like what usually happens, you write a song, go in the studio, record it, make an album, and then you go tour, and then you figure out how the songs actually go on stage after, you know, and you're like, all these nuances and things happen on stage in the live show that you didn't know the song yet. You just wrote it, you know?
and Cathy, with obviously new songs, don't you think the best test is to be in front of your fans, in front of an audience?
Absolutely.
Because you get that real response, don't you?
Yeah.
Especially from the diehard fans, don't you? You really do. And it's good practice for the band.
Yeah. And you know, like what David sings the song Setting Sun that we co-wrote. And it's like kind of slow, just jam. It's got a cowboy theme, and he just sings his ass off. So like, it's so incredible to see, and people lose their minds. They lose their minds. They like standing ovation in the middle of the show after you sang that the other night.
Really?
Like, yeah, like extended, you know, it's like people really, he's incredible. And, you know, back in the day of, you know, when Jefferson Starship, the original band, was touring and making albums and doing all that stuff, David was kind of a utility guy. He sang harmony, he played bass, he played keys, he contributed to songwriting, and he played the organ intro on the intro of Miracles, an iconic line, and so he was kind of moving around and doing a lot of things, and his singing is unsung, if I could say that.
Well put.
He is an incredible singer. His voice is incredibly powerful, and to maintain that strength throughout as many decades as you have is really, to me, it blows my mind.
Should we just drop the mic there?
Yeah.
I mean, Cathy, it's episode 1. but David, I'd use the word iconic as well. You've got going back to the high piano, etc., the high octave. You've got a distinctive sound. Cathy said it already as well. But even now, I'm just going to finish off with a question before we move on to some quick fire questions. Touring life now, how has that changed throughout now? Okay, because obviously we're talking about 60s, 70s, through the decades, everything now.
Well, it always changed. I mean, right now we aren't out here touring with 4 semis and carrying the stage and the rigging and everything. But we did that with Jefferson Starship, and Starship did, and Jefferson Airplane before. I mean, I was in the last Jefferson Airplane tour also. So, and
didn't you guys nobody wanted to be on a tour bus, so everybody rented cars?
Yeah, no,
really?
Yeah, well, we ended up having, but Paul and Grace never wanted to be on ride.
Why is that?
One time I don't know, we drive cars between the gigs. We had Lincoln Town cars, everybody,
In America?
In America, yeah.
I mean,
the crew would be on a bus because they had to.
We just did it in the cars.
And we just drive between them, unless we had to fly,
Wow.
I think for a couple of years we rented we chartered a plane. I think it was a Vickers Viscount, actually.
See, Cathy likes the sound of that.
Yeah. Can we get back to the private plane days, please?
You can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell. I've been on your social media, Cathy. I know. I've seen you with the shades on in business class. All right.
You fly into town. You fly into town, and the rent-a-cars are waiting for you, and you just get in. Don't have to go through a terminal at all,
But obviously now these days, obviously with this tour as well, would you do? Is it 3 or 4 days? Go home, have a bit of a break,
sometimes
get some warm weather.
Sometimes,
come in.
We got back. I mean, we did a tour with Deep Purple in Europe just last October, and we bust that one.
Was that the arena tour? Was it an arena tour?
Yeah.
Did you play Leeds by any chance? Leeds Arena in Yorkshire?
No, we didn't get.
We didn't get to do the UK.
This time. No, they had a different band for the UK.
And the band was very annoyed because they'd rather.
Yeah, Deep Purple really wanted us, just so you know. But it was some political thing. Anyway, next time we go back, we will be playing the UK with Deep Purple. Yeah, if we're still alive.
If you're watching Deep Purple.
If they're still alive and we're still alive.
If we're all still alive.
You will. Listen, I just want to say thank you. Okay. 1, for your time, okay. 2, for just being outrageously beautiful and this connection you have and bringing this warmth into the studio.
Oh,
it is
thank you.
absolutely wonderful.
Well, I will
note
that actually I'm having more fun than I've ever had.
There you go.
I mean, that is it. I mean, why stop? Carry on going.
How can
Keep
you-
the long.
how can you stop?
How can you stop?
You can't.
But that's the
Retire from what you love to do?
But exactly. But don't you think that, and Cathy, don't you think that the power is that's the power of music as well, and that connection you have with fans, and seeing that reaction that you do every single night on stage, and you have that reaction, people you might know, people who you don't know, and you do that. It's like a magical power, isn't it? It really is. It really is.
She
It
has,
is magic.
She has a lot of magic.
That's it. The compliments in this room.
Magic. We all have a lot of magic. It's just recognizing it and going, "Oh, thank you. More, please."
Absolutely. Well, listen, Colorado Springs are going to welcome you with open arms like they do with everybody. Okay. What can fans expect with this tour? Like with this run of dates?
Well, we're going to play the greatest hits of Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship, and Starship. We're going to play some of the deep cuts that you want to hear. We're going to take you
Some
on
of the deep cuts that you don't want to hear?
Yeah, maybe, depends.
That you don't know you want to hear. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and we're going to take you on a time machine trip. It's going to transport you back to a time in your life when you were young and we didn't have the troubles we have now, and just for 90 minutes we're going to just rock and have a great time together.
Yeah.
And we're going to have
Smiles
fun.
on your faces and
We're going to have
hands
fun,
in the
so
air.
hopefully you will too.
Well, absolutely. Listen, I'm gonna finish off the quickfire music. Quickfire music 10. Okay. I mean, it can be quickfire, but I know what happens with this stuff.
You go first.
We'll end up kind of picking.
Oh, no.
Well, you can answer. I think you should do the questions together, really. Okay, but do you know what I mean? Because
See who comes up with
I
it.
thought about doing 5 and a 5, but nah. Let's go anyway. So you ready? We're gonna finish
okay.
off. What is your favourite song of your own?
Of my own?
Yeah. Oh, should we say the bands? Let's say
What
the
Are We Waiting For by Jefferson Starship from our latest album, Mother of the Sun.
Cathy was right in there.
I would go along with that.
Okay. Right, wonderful. What is your favourite song by another artist?
There's too many. I mean,
My-
I love Jill Sobule. I think she's the greatest American songwriter. She lives in Colorado, doesn't she? She is my absolute favorite, and she has so many great songs. I can't even list them all. What about you,
What
David?
about you, David? No pressure, David. Me and Cathy just staring at you. It's a hard question. Yeah.
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Because I love everybody's
Yeah.
music. You know, it's hard to pick. I can't do it.
I think we've stumped him, everybody.
Stumped.
You stumped me.
Okay, next one. What album do you wish you had written?
Oh, any of the Beatles, like Let It Be.
Yep.
Let's just go with that.
I'm a huge Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah, Sgt. Pepper's is amazing also. And Pink Floyd, The Wall,
The
Dark
Wall.
Side of the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible albums.
Ditto.
Fleetwood Mac, Rumors.
Oh, real.
Greatest. I mean,
I knew we were friends, all of us. I mean, yeah, that's it. What is your dream venue? This is actually a really tough question because I think you've played it every single one. What's your dream venue to play?
Ooh.
Red Rocks.
Yeah, I would say.
Red Rocks. Great catering, by the way. Make sure you get the catering. Really
Okay,
good. Yeah, really
yeah.
good catering.
We're in.
Who would be your support act at your dream venue? You can just see it now, can't you?
Who would?
You're headlining Red Rocks. Who is that? Who's the supporting act?
I don't know, because I wouldn't want to insult anyone by assuming that they should open for us.
You're all friends.
We're all friends.
You're all friends.
Well, then I guess it would be Heart.
Okay.
That'd be good for
You
you.
go with that? Yeah.
You actually
You can have
played
two
with
openers.
Heart in
Actually, they already opened for us.
the
Really?
70s.
Well, so did Fleetwood Mac, actually.
Did they?
Yep.
Mick's very tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very tall.
He's
Well,
very
this
tall.
was the big hit one, you know.
I once met Stevie Nicks at the side
With
of the
Stevie
stage.
Nicks and all
Nicks.
that. They were opening for us
Yeah.
when that band first started for like a whole summer.
Wow. I once had the pleasure of meeting Stevie Nicks in San Diego. We did a radio show. And she had a little dog, a white dog,
Oh, of course she
on
did.
the side of the stage. But coincidentally, we ended up doing a cover, and we didn't know she was there. We did a cover of Dreams. Okay? And we walked off stage and she was stood there. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's going to.
Yeah.
And she went, that was great. That was great. And she just stroked it like stroking a white dog. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Amazing.
That was a moment.
That is a moment.
That's a moment.
That was
That's a real moment.
That was
right
a
there.
moment.
Yeah.
What song reminds you of a good memory?
Man. I feel like I was in the station wagon with my family going somewhere on vacation when I heard Jane the first time, and it jumped off the radio at us. And that is a great memory.
Was it before the age of 14?
Yes, because that was
Yeah.
1979. I would have been 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look at that, it just sticks with you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Forever. David, what about you?
Oh, I'm bad at these.
They're pretty tricky, aren't they, these ones?
Oh, they are. I mean, the songs just become part of your life, and
Yeah.
and picking one out is really hard.
Well, it had to be a good memory when Jane was getting played all over the radio for you, too, I mean.
Well, that was good.
Was that
Yeah.
pretty exciting?
That was very exciting.
Like you had a hit song.
On the radio.
On the radio.
Yeah.
Can you remember that first time?
Huh?
Can you remember that first time? When it's on the radio, it's like, oh my gosh, I wrote that. It's
Yeah,
now...
I do, but I think I have a memory of hearing it on the radio while we were still in the studio. So it was because it must have come out before the album did.
Fascinating. Really is fascinating.
Weird.
What's your least favourite genre of music?
Least favorite?
If you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
I mean, it's probably blasphemous for me to say this, but I hate that kind of jazz with the saxophone that's just playing all the notes. That makes me feel crazy.
Smooth jazz.
Where's it going, that, though?
Smooth jazz?
Yeah.
Not smooth jazz, no.
Yeah, like...
all the crazy. I'm like, what? No, I can't.
And what time signature is that? I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
What is it?
Every time signature.
It's all the
yeah.
time signatures
Talk
at
about
once.
improvisation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess it's beyond me because it makes me feel insane to hear
Well,
that music.
yeah, I can get into some of those because I'm doing some heavy psychedelic drugs and listening to Coltrane and stuff, and then you
Yeah,
probably
maybe
would-
that's what I need is to listen to.
Maybe that's the next
take some
album. That's the next
psychedelic
album.
Drugs and then listen to it and see
yeah.
if I have a better.
I don't know. I always
opinion.
kind of say, if whoever's playing the song is having an actual good time doing it, and if the audience likes it and is getting off on it, then I will like it.
Yeah.
Must
be doing something.
Yeah, and it's.
I'm looking out for that jazz album now. What you? It started here.
All right. Well, tell me what yours is. You were going to say.
Yes. Okay. Jazz is one of them.
Okay.
I still find, even being a piano player myself and classically trained, I still can't. I can't get the concept. And then I need to spend a bit more time in the country world. Because being from the UK. I mean, over here it's huge, isn't it?
It is, but I don't listen to new country. I don't know. I personally, it's like whatever. Although, except for Shabuzi, I like that. But like, the old country, that's where it's at. Like
I could listen to Vince Gill
Hank
all day.
Williams and
that's. I mean,
it feels like AI writes all the songs now.
Okay. We could have another 30-minute conversation about that. We really could. If you weren't a musician, what would you be doing?
Hopefully just living on a beach somewhere.
Look at that. Can you imagine that, Dave, just living on a beach?
I don't think I'd still be alive.
Of course you would. You look wonderful. Of course you would. But what do you think
Keeps him young.
Yeah, what do you think you'd be doing if music was just...
I don't know. Anytime I ever tried to do anything else, I'd get fired.
Yeah, that's true too. Or quit very shortly. Yeah,
Or
I
get
didn't
busted.
last very well in the working world. I couldn't have a real job. I'd have to do something alternative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Last two questions. The most disruptive moment you've experienced in music?
Disruptive?
Yeah.
Oh, I got one.
Go for it.
Jefferson Starship was due to play in Lorelei in Germany,
Oh, God.
and Grace was sick and couldn't play. And then Paul refused to come play without her. He said, the Rolling Stones don't play without Mick Jagger. And then when he said, well, okay, but we've got
Marty Ballin.
we've got Marty Ballin, we've got, me, we've got a lot of singers, we got a really good band. We even have a horn section for that one. And he said, and these people have been sitting out here in the rain. It's an outdoor thing. They've been here camping out overnight to hear rock and roll. And there's a bunch of bands that canceled. And so what they've got to hear so far is Leo Kottke playing his 12 string. Mm-hmm. I said that was all really nice. And Brand X, which was, which was nice. But that was it. And if Jefferson Starship didn't play, and the promoters are saying, you don't want to cancel this.
Yeah.
You better play. And we didn't, and they burned the place down. They literally burned the place down. The Lorelei, the amphitheater, out right above the Rhine River. It was.
Have you been back since?
Yeah, we actually we've played there.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, how many people are we talking then with the amphitheater?
Huh?
How many people are in the amphitheater?
Thousands.
Thousands.
And they rioted because the concert they paid for and waited for and it didn't happen, and they went crazy. And so these guys used to travel with like their grand piano.
Yeah.
They destroyed the grand piano.
No, they didn't. They threw it off the stage and it got cracked, and that's the only reason it didn't get burned in the bonfire in the middle of the stage, because they couldn't pick it up and put it back.
The grand piano.
Yeah, they stole some of the instruments.
Yeah,
which they eventually. Some of the guys, Pete Sears and Craig Chiquiso, got some of their guitars back.
He had a gold top Les Paul that he lost.
Yeah, they just
Vintage,
stole the instruments, and they're very, very valuable. Like he had was an alembic bass or something that Pete got stolen, and they eventually got him back decades later. But yeah, that's.
I don't. I
can't top that.
I don't think we're going to top it on see you at the show. We're going to top that, really.
I was the guy that was there, that was at the venue. Everybody else hadn't come out, and I think the drummer and the horn section were there, and when they heard this was happening, they left quickly. And I said, well, somebody's got to tell the audience, So I got up there, and
no, you didn't.
I did, along with our road manager and the promoter, and I said that in English, and when the promoter said everything in German, and after he got through, they started throwing beer bottles, and it was over.
Oh no! And they're not small beer bottles in Germany; they're huge. I don't think. How are we going to top that on the show?
No,
I don't. Yeah, but yeah.
Pretty disruptive.
We're going to finish off with definitely
1978. That
yeah.
was. Yeah.
We're going to finish off with a nice one. Okay, but I would like to. Cathy, you give me two, and I want David to give me two. People, past or present, you'd like to have as an ideal band lineup. Okay, so you're both in Jefferson Starship. Mm-hmm. Who else would you like in the band? And it doesn't have to be like. I mean, you can be specific if it's a drummer, etc. Yeah, but you can have a few backing singers, maybe. You know what I mean? Let's get a bit fancy. Who would you like? Anyone, past or present?
I think that all four Beatles would really help our ticket sales.
Ringo with his hair. Ringo. You think Ringo would be all right with he'd be all right on the drums, would he?
Well, he and Diley would get along great, and they would play double drums together, and it would be fabulous. And our bass player is our keyboard player. He plays bass with his left hand, so it would be cool to have a bass player.
It'd be good to have Pete Sears back in the band.
Oh, it would be amazing to have Pete Sears back in the band.
That's cool.
He can't get out of town, so very much.
Wow, so you've got the Beatles.
I think that
Ringo's
covers.
warming up now. Okay. All right. So that's good. And you have to make sure you understand the Liverpoolian accent as well. Would that be all right?
I think I could get it.
You get it.
I'd get used to it.
You'd be fine.
Yeah.
I think we've listened to the Beatles talk enough.
Which, what a wonderful band, the Beatles. But I'd say one thing: it's been an absolute pleasure having you both here.
Thank you so much.
And kicking off, see you at the show, episode 1. Thank you so much. I'll
Thank
give you a
you.
hug, but knowing me, I'll knock all the microphones over.
Well, that's a great way to end.
I
We'll
know,
just
like,
trash the
Ray,
stage.
come on, let's just- yeah. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourselves. Okay, please don't be a stranger and come back.
Okay,
we'd
sure.
love to. Thank
Red
you.
Rocks is waiting for you.
Okay. We can make this
I
happen.
would love to do that.
And don't forget your jazz album. David, Cathy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful sports here. Baptised in this studio as well. And we'll catch you next time you're in Colorado as well. And thank you so much at home for watching episode 1. And as always, we'll see you at the show.